And a major rail strike has been averted with the deal the president negotiated and signed into law just this morning.
We ensured workers are going to get a historic 24% wage increase over the next 5 years. And look, I know this bill doesn't have paid sick leave that these rail workers and frankly every worker in America deserves. But that fight isn't over. And today we've learned that the economy added 263,000 jobs in November. And we've now created 10.5 million jobs since I took office, more than any administration in history at this point in the presidency.
Joining me now is Gary Locke, the former U.S. ambassador to China and Commerce Secretary under President Obama, also the former governor of Washington State. Ambassador, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be with you, Andrea.
Well, how significant was this deal to avoid a rail workers' strike? Obviously, you know, the paid days off is really important. The unions are angry, but not having a $2 billion a day strike costing the economy that much money is really important.
Well, this is very important because it would have disrupted supplies. The economy is still reeling from supply chain issues, and to have deliveries of key components, retail goods, consumer goods, having that disrupted would have really impacted more jobs and really wreaked havoc on the economy and slowed down our recovery. So the jobs report is good. Of course, we need to get inflation down, but certainly this is good news to really avoid a catastrophe and a dramatic jolt to the U.S. economy and jobs and getting our recovery underway.
But still, it leaves the job of the Federal Reserve, you know, not finished. They have only one tool, really, and that's to raise rates again when they meet in mid-December.
Although Chairman Powell has indicated that perhaps the rate of increases might be lessening or softening, and that's also good news as well. So it looks like the Fed is really watching carefully inflation, making sure that we, at the same time, we do not go into a deep recession. And so it's a balance. It's a very delicate balancing act, but it appears that the signals are good.
Let me ask you about China. You have so much experience there. We've had these massive protests and protests against, you know, President Xi Jinping, unprecedented criticism. And does it seem to you that they worked because China is now overnight beginning to ease the lockdown restrictions, the COVID restrictions in some cities?
Yes, these are unprecedented protests nationwide, the largest amount of protests and prolonged protests that we've seen since Tiananmen Square, which led to a brutal and violent and bloody cessation and of the students. But there are real grievances by the Chinese people, these lockdowns in which whole cities of millions and millions of people or neighborhoods of 5 or 10 million people are completely locked down, where the residents can't go out, can't go shopping, can't go to work, can't visit a doctor or go to the hospital. That has really frustrated the Chinese people. Of course, it's affected their economy, where unemployment rate among teenagers and young people is in double digits because of these lockdown policies. And so Beijing, sensing this outrage, and because of these protests, has announced that they're going to soften and loosen up some of these restrictions. But it really remains to be seen how the local government officials will carry out the so-called new era or new restrictions or softening, because the local officials are very fearful of displeasing Beijing. Beijing does not want any increase in the number of cases. They've had tens of thousands of COVID cases reported. Not enough seniors are vaccinated. The vaccines aren't all that effective. They're using their own vaccines and not using the Western vaccines, which have proven to be very, very effective. And so these protests are a culmination of frustration among the Chinese people. And what the Chinese government is most afraid of is that this could be almost an opening for other grievances to come out and to be aired, and that once these protests start, they cannot be stopped. And so therefore, they're really clamping down, confiscating people's cell phones, tracking people down whose cell phones indicate that they were in the area of these protests. And then they're having massive police presence in the areas where the protests have occurred to really dissuade people from doing this again. And they're calling in people confiscating cell phones and really striking the fear of God among the protesters.
Such a complicated situation in China, and it's such a critical part of our economy and of the global economy. Ambassador Gary Locke, great to see you. Thanks so much.